Hi, this is Mrs. Merrill, and I wanted to talk about the new law with you today, dealing with our new section, the last section that is covered on our test this Friday. And so the first law that you'll see is the product of the chords, and that is where we take two chords intersecting on the inside of the circle, and so you take A times B equals C times D. In the example that you see on the whiteboard, 2 times x equals 3 times 6. We then solve it, and x is 9. That's the first law, called the product of the chords. Here's an example of the second law. It's called the product of two secant segments. These examples are on the PowerPoint that goes with this lesson. And so here you see that we have one secant. The outside segment is 16, the inside segment is 26. And then we have the outside segment on the bottom, which is 18. And then the inside part, AS, is x. The law says you take the outside portion of the secant segment times the whole thing, and that equals the outside secant segment times the whole thing on the bottom. So if you look, we have 16 times the entire thing, which would be 16 plus 26, equals the outside secant segment, which is 18, times the whole thing, which is x plus 18. And then I did the algebra. Let's take a look now, please, at number 3. Number 3, we have the third law, which is the product of a tangent segment and a secant segment. Notice the tangent segment GH, it just intersects the circle in one spot. So that's why it's a tangent. Whereas the secant segment GW intersects the circle in two spots. See, it intersects in point S and point W. So the law says you take the tangent segment and you square it, and that will be equal to the outside portion of the secant segment times the whole secant segment. So notice I have 13 squared equals the outside, which is 9, times the whole thing, which would be 5x plus 9. And then I distribute and solve. So that's the third law in the new material section. Question 4 on your note template. Notice it is also the product of the two secant segments. It's the second law. Again, it is the outside portion of that secant segment times the whole thing equals the outside times the whole thing. I distributed and came up then with x equals 1. That's number 4. Here's number 5. This is back to the first law. This is the product of the chords. A times B equals C times D. Again, A is x, and B is the quantity x plus 7, and that equals 3 times 6. So again, I distributed the x, got x squared plus 7x equals 18. Then I had to make it equal 0. Remember, when you have an x squared and an x, we have to factor. So I am doing reverse FOIL, and so I had to break it down to two factors. It has to multiply. The last terms have to multiply to give me that negative 18, and the two middle terms have to add to give me a positive 7x. So it was x plus 9 times the quantity x minus 2. I did not use the x is negative 9 because, again, x is a length of a part of a chord in the circle, so we can't have negative distance. And so my answer is x is 2. Here is number, nope, I think that's it. That's the last of them, I think, that was on that sheet. All right, so I hope that helps.